I was going to start with this title, but I realized that would be pretty douche of me to say what the best editor is. So I changed the title to Finding Your Own Niche. So what I think everyone should do is set up their own Docfiles configuration. Pretty much every person I see them talk or read their blogs, you go to their GitHub account, they have a Docfiles repository. It's how they set up their own computer. And it's really cool to learn what other people do. You can check out mine, but mine probably isn't for you because I use Dvorak, and I want Vim to be set up like Sublime Text, and I use Tmux and OSX and Z Shell, so mine is completely customized to what I like, but you should definitely do it for you too. But instead of checking out mine, you should check out the experts. Probably the best podcast on Ruby is the Ruby Rogues. Each one of these guys has their Docfiles on GitHub. I highly recommend checking them out. Also, our own Russ has great Docfiles on GitHub, and this guy Chris Hunt, he works at GitHub. I saw him talk at the LA Ruby conference on Vim and Tmux. I got really interested in it, and I basically copied his whole Tmux thing. So basically, I feel like Riddler from Batman Forever in terms of sucking everyone's information. Feels awesome. So check out a lot of people's repositories. I feel like Emacs, James Edward Gray, and Avdi Grimm are great. Also, this guy Boris something who writes the RuboCop gem. If you like Vim, check out Gary Bernhardt and Chris Hunt, like I said, and Sublime Text. I don't know, Jason, if you have yours on GitHub, but I know you've written plugins and stuff. No? Okay. So I chose my setup, and this is why I like Vim more than anything else. So first of all, I can run the same exact Vim commands on any operating system because everything happens above the keyboard. So if I look at my keyboard, everything I do is right here except the spacebar, and that's the same on every keyboard I work with. And Sublime Text, Atom, and TextMate are kind of like Logic. You use your mouse, you use your touchpad, you use all these different inputs to arrive at the code you write. And Emacs is kind of like these old school Bach air pieces. You hold down these chords, your fingers are on a place for the whole time. You're basically just like holding a bunch of buttons down. And my hand hurt after trying Emacs for a while. VI, the original, is kind of like these Mozart pieces where you just press a bunch of little keys at the same time. But Vim got better. Vim is an improvement of VI. So Vim is like Mozart, and it's like his operas, because you can do so many cool things with it. I really dig it. But no matter what text editor you use, please delete trailing whitespace. And there's also some other things I should have added. Your text editor should set up auto indent, which is really cool, and you should find a snippets library you really like, because that saves the amount of keystrokes you write. So if you want to check out Vim, these are the 3 patron saints that I've learned pretty much everything from. Drew Neal writes Vimcast, and he's written Practical Vim, which is the best Vim book out there. Tim Pope has written pretty much every Vim plugin I've used. And this guy, Ben Ornstein, has written a lot about writing Ruby and Rails with it. I use Tmux and Z Shell because I like having a very focused, narrow environment. And I don't have to leave anything except my terminal, except when I go like visit a browser or something. Okay. So I don't think I'll have time to show everything. But one thing that, aside from Vim, that I really like are aliases, including the aliases, so I can see what type of aliases I use. Basically, I want to write the smallest number of keystrokes possible. So for instance, I have this work, so when I'm at work at Pololu, I can do all this in one fell swoop, and there I am. My environment is set up. All I have to do is type work. I don't remember what git fetch origin is. I just need to know what my word that I use to associate with this, and I'm good to go. Another one I really like is C for clear. And that one's pretty cool because that means I can clear my, basically clear my terminal anytime. So if you go here and press C, I'm back to state. So that's my 5 minutes. Does anyone have any questions? Or I can show more Vim, or, yeah.
Do they have like an electric Ruby mode for Emacs?
Well, there is like auto indent. Ruby mode for Emacs is pretty cool. And there's a standardized Ruby snippets library that I use. So if I just press like DI, you would do definitionalize with all your programs set up. Jim Ryrick, who recently passed away, was a big Emacs user and contributor. So when I was trying to get into that, I watched a bunch of his stuff and went through his doc files. Yeah.
I noticed you said you set up your Vim to act like Sublime Text.
You want to see some examples?
Well, no, I was just going to point out that a better way to make something work like Sublime Text would be to use Sublime Text.
Well,
I just wanted to throw
Sublime
that out
Text
there.
doesn't have normal mode, which is my favorite part about Vim. So like, I have, basically I could use the keyboard to do two things. I could either insert text or I could move around. So I can like, whoops.
Sublime has that.
Well, I don't want to use Sublime normal mode. That just sounds silly. How do you get in and out?
It's vintage mode. It makes Sublime act like Vim.
And I guess that still wouldn't solve the problem of having the same set of key commands for any type of OS.
Sublime
Because-
runs on all of us.
I know, but I tried to learn the Windows key shortcuts, then tried to switch back to Mac, and it was just impossible.
Do you ever get over the thing of not realizing whether you're in command mode or in the typing mode and end up throwing a bunch of text into your commands? Or
No, because it says insert, like I pay attention to that. And
You
I mean,
also get in the habit of hitting escape all
Yeah.
the time.
and one thing that, well, I do control the OBS insane, yeah.
if you paste something in with your mouse, do you always remember somehow to get it into the right mode first before?
It took some time, because like when I'm in insert mode and I like, whoops, accidentally press down, I get these random keys that I hate. But I just learned over time not to do that. So I guess I could try to do VizBuzz real quick. I don't think I'm gonna have time, but one thing that I like is I can basically tab complete anything that's already open. So if I want to do just convert to VizBuzz, I can press tab and automatically get that. And then if I go back to my file, which I can use the fuzzy file search, I can go to convert, and it's just like that. And I like the auto indentation. There's definitely a ton more I need to learn, but stuff like that is pretty cool.
Oh, have you figured out how to run a shell within Vim yet?
I use Tmux, so I can go between shells like this. But if I wanted to run the spec, I can do basically what Sublime Text has for Ruby tests. I can just run the test like that, and looks like I have a set there. You could
Run a
run
normal
shell
shell.
commands like, I don't know, echo blah if I wanted to.
But how about the whole shell?
The whole shell, I just use Tmux, because Tmux has copy and paste commands that work just like Vim. And I can copy it to the system, put forward, and take it anywhere. So no, you can't run a shell in Vim.
It looked like you were pretty close with whatever you just did. So they
Yeah, there are some things I set up to send to the shell, but only one-off commands. Like I can't have like a
What if you
full
send
shell
batch?
sitting there. Oh no, I've never tried that. Just like that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Can you type something? Less?
Yeah.
Alright.
It does work.
That's how you should do everything.
Alright. But the point is, create your own doc file, copy a bunch of smart people, much smarter than me, and make your computer your own. For me, the ultimate goal is to minimize the amount of keystrokes I make, so I try to set up my environment accordingly and find out whatever works for you and just do it. Thanks.